Hey everyone. In this video, I wanted to do a bit of a deeper dive on the Bilt credit card. I've spoken about this card a couple times in the past, but want to really kind of lay out why I think this is the best card you can get right now. So in this video, I'm going to kind of go through why I think that's the case. I also want to note that some of the benefits I'm going to be referring to, there's a possibility they don't happen in the future, but I'm just basing it on what I've seen over the last 5 or 6 months as far as benefits that they offer. Um, that if those continue, would make this card the best card, I think. So just really quickly, it's a no annual fee card issued by Wells Fargo, and it has a lot of benefits that we're gonna kind of go over here now. So some of the main benefits are, this is the first card, really the only card, where you can actually pay your rent with the card and not be assessed any fees if you pay through a payment portal or however you pay for it. There's not going to be any fees related to it, and you earn points on that spend. So that's a new spend category that no other credit card offers, which already makes the Bilt card rather unique. But in addition to that, Bilt, I think, has the best transfer partners in the game. Better than Chase and better than American Express. They have a lot of transfer partners, a lot of the typical transfer partners, but they also have United, Hyatt Hotels, and then American Airlines. And no other credit card offers American Airlines as a transfer partner. That's unique to Bilt. So two things that are unique: you could pay rent, earn points, and you could transfer to American Airlines. It does have decent spend categories: 3x on dining, 2x on travel, and this travel includes airlines, hotels, cruise lines, and car rentals. And then 1x on everything else, including rent. One of the things that really starts to enhance this card is their whole concept of rent day, which occurs on the first of every month. And on the first of every month on rent day, all of those spend categories get doubled. So now you're getting 6x on dining if you go to any restaurants or cafes on the first, 4x on travel, and then 2x on everything else. This doesn't affect payments to rent though. So rent, you always earn 1 point per dollar, but everything else gets doubled. And then in addition to that, they've offered some really crazy bonuses on rent day, or crazy unique transfer partner options that are specifically available on the first of the month. And we're gonna kind of go over some of those in a moment here. And then also they offer cell phone protection, trip delay insurance. Like I said, there's no annual fee. There's also no foreign transaction fees. But one of the main things I want to show in this video is how using a couple of these benefits together creates outsized returns on spend. But before we do that, a quick point about status levels. So Bilt has status levels based on how many points you have or how much you spend in a calendar year. So you start out at blue status, that's the entry level status, and then once you spend $10,000 in a calendar year or obtain 50,000 points, you move to silver, then you can move to gold, and finally to platinum. One thing to point out is these points earned and dollars spent also do not include rent payments. So the money you spend on rent doesn't go towards the dollar amount totals, and the points you earn from that don't go to the points totals you need for each of these levels. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because we're going to go over some of the rent day benefits, and some of those benefits are affected by what level you're at. So depending on your level, you get a bigger or larger benefit. So just to kind of give you some examples, This was January's rent day special. So, in addition to doubling all the multipliers, they offered transfer bonuses to Flying Blue, Virgin Atlantic, and IHG hotels. And you can see here, based on the level you were at, that's the transfer bonus you got. So 75%, 100%, 125, up to 150% bonus on transfer. So as you can see here with that example, if you transfer 1,000 Bilt points, you would be getting 2,500 partner currency points or miles to whoever of these three you transfer to, Flying Blue, Virgin Atlantic, or IHG. I've never seen transfer bonuses like this. I think the most I've seen is like 35% bonus, I think. Somewhere around there. It's never been 75 or 150% bonus. But that's what they did in January. And then in February, they offered something very similar with Aeroplan, which is Air Canada's currency. And so, same thing, depending on your status, you could get from 75% bonus up to 150% bonus. I created a calculator to help explain how using these benefits together can create unusually large returns on spend, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. But before we go to that calculator, I just want to highlight a couple of the other benefits that did come on some of these rent day specials. So they gave a Lyft credit. I think it was a $5 credit, one-time credit if you use Lyft on the first of the month when they offered it this credit. They also offered a 50% increase on redeeming your Bilt points at Amazon. And then they also offered an extra spend bonus. So what they offered was 1,000 points for using your Bilt card with any of the merchants I'm going to list here over the span of the following 30 days. So if you use your Bilt card at AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, Comcast, Xfinity, Spectrum, Spotify, Netflix, or Hulu, in addition to the points you would earn for whatever you spent at those merchants, they would give you 1,000 extra points on top of that. So, and up to 5,000. So if you used 5 of these merchants over that 30-day period, you would earn a bonus of 5,000 points, which, as you're going to see, can really add up with the transfer bonuses. So with that, let's take a moment and go over the calculator to have some real world examples. Okay, so what you see here is just kind of a breakdown on some spend and how those can turn into miles or points at some of their transfer partners. On the top here, you can see that we have the spend broken down by the categories where you get the multipliers. So dining 3x, travel 2x, rent is 1x, and miscellaneous anything else is 1x as well. And then over here, what I've done is if it's money that was spent on rent day, these multipliers get doubled. So it'll be 6x, 4x, 2x, 2x. Actually, I'm sorry, not 2x on rent. That rent doesn't get doubled. So you only get whatever you spend. And so in this example here, spending $400 throughout the course of a month on dining out, $150 on travel. Average rent is maybe $1,500. That might be a little bit lower or high depending on where you live. And then an additional $200 on miscellaneous spend would earn you a total of 3,200 points for that month. And then if you factor in what you spent, what you could potentially spend on rent day, the example I give, you'll see the new total. The example I give here is spending $200 on dining. Now that's a lot of money to spend in one day, but there are things you can do to kind of, I don't want to say cheat the system, but take advantage of this one day benefit. And so one of the things that I do is I order Starbucks coffee kind of regularly, and I use their app where you load money onto the app and then you just pay through the app. So every first of the month, I load $50 or $100 onto that app with the Bilt card, and then I get that 6x multiplier for whatever I spent on the Starbucks app. In addition to that, if there's a restaurant or any other cafes or anything that you go to rather regularly, you can go on the first and buy a gift card to those places that you know you're going to use throughout the course of the month, but you just buy it on the first so that you can get that 6x return on spend. So because of that, I use $200 here as my example. And then we say you don't really spend on the average month, maybe you don't spend anything else on travel on the first. Again, we don't count rent. And then miscellaneous is just another $200 of spend. That could be groceries or gas or all of the above. So then you have a total of $400 spent on rent day, which gives you 1,600 points in this example. And so for the month, you spent 2,650 and earn 4,800 points. Now, that doesn't look like a big return on your spend, but that's because a big chunk of that is from the rent, where you only get 1x back. But that's a category you wouldn't normally get anything back for, so it's still really good. But if you take rent out and you look over here, you'll see that besides rent, in this example, we spent $1,150 and got 3,300 points in return. So that's almost 3x return on spend, which is not bad. But the thing that makes this situation or Bilt situation different is when we look at what you can do with those points if you transfer them on what they offered in the January or February rent day transfer partner bonus. So you'll see here that we have the Flying Blue, the Virgin Atlantic, IHG hotels, and then down here in February they had the Aeroplan. Depending on your status level, you got whatever it was, the correlating percent bonus, transfer bonus when you transferred to these partners. And so in this example, with 4,800 points earned, with a 75% transfer bonus, that turns into 8,400 points. If it's silver, if you're a silver status, you double it, it's 9,600 points. Gold is 125%, is 10,800 points. And platinum is 12,000 points on $265 in spend. That's over 5-to-1 return on spend, which is pretty crazy. But if you're somebody who spends more money, so if we go back in here and we say maybe you go out a bit more, maybe you travel just a little bit more, maybe your rent's a little bit higher, and you put more money like on groceries and gas and things like that, and we leave kind of rent day leave the same, you've now spent a total of $3,800 in the Bilt card over the course of a month. That earned you 6,400 points, 6,400 Bilt points for the month, and you can see now how that affects the transfer bonuses when you transfer them out. So anywhere from 11,000 to 16,000 miles or points, depending on who you transfer to, based on your status. And just for context, right now, I did a quick search. Virgin Atlantic has rewards for business class flights to London for 48,000 points. So that would be 3 months of spending on a card. You already have enough for a one-way flight from the US to London in business class, which is really unheard of. And then also Aeroplan has business class flights going to France for 60,000 miles. So you can see that with these transfer bonuses, you can really get the points needed for a really nice trip rather quickly. And so, because of that, I think that the Bilt card is really the best card you can get. And so, with that, just to kind of summarize, with the ability to pay rent and earn points for it, having what I consider to be the best transfer partners, having decent multipliers that become really good on the first of each month, the insane transfer bonuses that they seem to be sending out every month, the fact that this is a no annual fee card, make this the best credit card you can get right now. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you found this video helpful, and let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my synopsis. And also point out if there's any other benefits maybe that I missed or that you really like from the Bilt card. I'm always curious to hear what others think. And if you're interested in signing up for this card, please consider using the referral link in the description of the video. Thank you.